What is going on, guys? This is Versus All Gaming with my review of Hamatora episode 11, and this episode, it just deepened my hatred for morale like you all would not believe. So the episode, it kind of picks off from last week where we see all of our characters here. They're all going through their own kind of situation, and of course, things are definitely not well right now because it's kind of like a war in the city. And so the main part here, or the newer parts that we're seeing Takahiro and Hajime. They're still working out, and they also have Nice, who really surprised me when he brought Morale to the bar. That right there definitely shocked me. But it seems that the bartender and Morale, they might know each other, because it seems that this guy, the bartender, he was trying to play it off like Morale had him confused, and I definitely believe that these two have some kind of past that we have not seen just yet. But we have Koniko here, who would actually like Morale because she thought that he was like really nice, but of course that's not true. And Nice here, he already figured out that Morale here was the mastermind, and I was just wondering, why hasn't he killed him yet? Because I'm pretty sure he definitely knows, what he's done so far and why he was stealing, our face. And yeah, these two were acting, buddy-buddy. But Hajime and Takahiro, they are still working out, and we have Hajime who's like having no problem doing this workout. But Takahiro here, he's like struggling, and Hajime, she was doing 500 sit-ups. I believe she was close to 550 when she eventually stopped, and she helped Takahiro here, finish one. And so now we see Murasaki. This guy definitely surprised me because normally he has a cool head, but this is the first time we ever seen him, pissed off. And so now we have all these incidents going on where all these like minimum holders, they're like causing trouble. And we see now that after Honey and 3 lost the kids, they basically don't want to help the city anymore, because we have the police department. They tried to get Honey to come out there and contain some of these riots, but she did not want to do that. And I definitely think that they're gonna get these kids back, because 3 definitely deserves them. He was like definitely raising them well, and just because he's a minimum holder, it doesn't mean that he'll be a bad adoptive father to them. So I do think at the end of the series he'll get them back. But we have Murasaki, not Murasaki, we have Nice and Morale. They basically figured everything out that was going on, and we see now that Nice already knew, like Morale, because I believe he said that he had Honey to use her power. And so basically, Honey and her power here, she'll basically be, the ultimate stalker, because it'll be hard to get rid of her. And so now, Nice kind of learns that he was doing that Morale, he was doing all this for him, and it actually, kind of made Nice snap, as Koniko said. And Koniko, once she learned that Morale was behind all of this, and we all know the trouble that he made for everybody in the series so far, she definitely did not think that he was nice anymore. And I was surprised that he stayed there for as long as he did. But he actually explained his power as he had the transformation minimum, and it's definitely rather simple. I thought that it might be more complex, but it's simple. But I do wonder the way it works, like how can he take somebody's appearance, like maybe if he looked at him or something, because I thought that when he touched Koniko's face, I thought that right there could be how he takes somebody's form, because I thought that he might surprise them and change into her, but he actually used that for another plan that he had. So eventually we have Nice here getting tired of Morale, and Morale just got up like he was gonna leave, because Nice was actually planning on taking him out there, but of course they couldn't fight inside, so they're gonna take it outside. And right when Morale was leaving, he actually shows that his escape plan, it was actually using Koniko, as he had like this thread around her neck, and it was connected to this ring on his finger. And if Nice wouldn't done anything to him, then he just would have cut her head off. And so going back to Murasaki, this guy which is in a bad mood throughout the entire episode, and we see that he was attacking all these minimum holders. And this is the first time that we have really seen the powers, push to the limit. Because I did notice, while he was fighting, we saw like the bluish veins coming up, and I could tell that, his power is definitely not to be meant to be used over a long period. As we see, later on that come back to bite him. But we see now that he just took out all these people, and it was like really surprising to see him so upset. But he, like, because of his rage, he had, helped Takahiro come to realize that even though he got the power, he was still weak. And I also want to point out that it was weird that Raito and Birthday, they didn't know that Chiyu was a minimum holder, when I'm pretty sure that they all went to the academy, and that's how they know each other. But maybe her power, didn't, appear till after she left or something. Oh, and Morale also pointed out that, for every minimum holder that he has, and he takes, this essence, as he called it, he can make 24 new holders. So that right there is like definitely impressive. So I'm guessing, from the brain or this essence that he takes from somebody that was like born a holder, he can make 24 people into minimum holders. And that right there, even though, that number is large, I gotta say, for him, it's definitely impressive, because I do believe that he said that, that right there isn't a good number, but I think he's wrong about that. So his research is definitely, like rather corrupted, but at the same time, it definitely could be useful. And also, I do want to point out where we see his assistant, I guess you could call her. We see now that she like pouring some coffee or tea, and she has 2 cups. And like I said in my last review, she's probably with Art. So I think it's safe to say that Art will like definitely appear in the final episode, because I do think that this series is only going to have 12 episodes, so it should be ending, like next week. If it had 13, then that right there really will surprise me. But I think our final showdown here, it will happen, next week. And so we see that even though Murasaki here, he is definitely a good fighter, he is not invincible. Because we see that he gets cut up, and he actually, he was actually bleeding from his head as well. So even though his power is awesome, he is not invincible. And so now we see that Morale here had another plan, where he'll send these holders to attack this center where Takehiro's mother is, because she had been bad-mouthing holders, throughout the entire series. And so now that they were like coming back to bite her, and we see right when she was trying to get away, this like guard or something that was supposed to be protecting her. We see that out of nowhere he gets his head smashed in by this sledgehammer by this guy, and that right there, was surprisingly bloody. I was surprised that that they did that, but I noticed that on the sledgehammer, it looked like it was heated. So that right there was like probably this guy's power to like heat things, I guess. But we see now that, she had tried to run away, and eventually they got into the center, and that's when the tank came in. And we see now that they were going to kill her with this tank, but luckily, Takahiro actually got there and was able to hit the tank before, it could hit her. And so now we see she's freaking out because Takahiro is like coming toward her, but he actually gets attacked. And I thought that, his skin might be tougher than that, because we see that, he get cut pretty easily, and he also got some wounds as well. And so we see now that when Hajime tries to gets involved, she gets shot. And not only that, Murasaki, because of him overusing his powers, he can't do it again. So right now he has to be on the sideline. But we see now that like Takahiro, he actually steps up, and he is definitely the hero here. As we see that his power, even though he looked this way, his real power is activated by him roaring, and he like kind of like transformed into a hybrid, I guess, of the Abomination and the Thing. Like normally I will call that well, like back when we first saw him, I called him like a Purple Hulk, but now I see him more like in a like the hybrid I said. But we see that this guy was not holding back, and this episode right here, it was another gruesome one, because we saw him slam somebody into the ground, and we also saw him crush somebody's head. And it was just so much blood that was like coming down. And he even caught a tank bullet, and he like threw it back into the tank. So he was just being so awesome in his episode. I was definitely impressed. but sadly, his power were off at one point, and it caused the guy with the sledgehammer to like bash his head in. But luckily, like Nice had came there, and he was watching, and at the end, he took that guy out. And even Murasaki was saying that, he had waited to the end to like steal the spotlight. But now we have Takahiro who's dying, and his mother who like was scared of him now accepted him, and she was like crying over his body, and she was saying how proud she was of him. But we have Morale who's seen me back in art office, or maybe it was his home, or his office, I guess, and we see that he was like watching Takahiro on the news, and he was saying that there was no way that he can withstand this humiliation, so he actually wanted to save him. And we see now from his phone he was able to make Takehiro's body explode, and that right there I definitely wasn't expecting. And I just felt so bad because like everybody was like covered in blood, and even Hajime, like the character who I never thought that we'll see react this way, even she broke down and started crying. And it was definitely cute the way that that art had not art that Nice had realized she was first hurt. And so now that she was crying, I'm guessing like Takahiro death, and especially Hajime, because Nice definitely cares about her. Like Morale here finally pushed him over the edge, and we see Nice here absolutely pissed off. Like this guy is no longer Nice. He is now a raging person, and I cannot wait to see how he deal with Morale. And so now that right there, the episode ends. But we see that after the ending, like something's going on with Hajime. Like the blood is all gone, and she was saying that she's hungry. And out of nowhere, we see her wounds heal, and her eyes glow red. And now we see out of nowhere, this like powerful wind picks up around her, and it's kind of like destroying everything. So I'm not sure what's going on right there, but I'm going to take a stab here and possibly say that the Hajime could be a vampire. Now, I'm not sure if that it could be true or not in the series, or maybe she'll have like a vampire minimum or something like a vampire like kind of power. But I just want to put this out there that she could be something related to a vampire, because that right there is clearly what she kind of showed at the end of the episode right there. But her character is definitely unique. I am liking Hajime, and I do hope that they like focus on her in the following episode. But like I said, this episode, it caught me off guard, and now I cannot stand Morale at all. I cannot wait to see him die, and I do wonder, how in the world is Art coming back? Because I do know that Morale said he has like one more thing to prepare, so I'm guessing that's Art. But like I said, this episode, it was definitely shocking. It was so dark. I feel so bad for Takahiro, but he was definitely the hero of the day, and for that, he definitely earned my respect. But as always, please do not forget to like the video and subscribe, because that really helps me out. And you guys take it easy, and I will see you all next time.